hashtag no Fleetwood Mac. And the idea, I know, but the
Sorry.
you know what? I'm sorry. I'm sorry to everyone. History is riddled with unexplained events. You can turn back now or learn the stuff they don't want you to know. Will says, greetings. I recently listened to your strange news segment about the leaked Supreme Court decision on overturning Roe v. Wade and about the potential appeal of Obergefell versus Hodges, which would overturn gay marriage. Will says, as a gay man that has been married for the last 7 years and together for a total of 22 years, this makes me feel very scared and very alone since I have no one in the court that truly represents my voice. Since this Supreme Court case kind of went under the radar, at least for me, it's a very sneaky way to attack human rights. It is almost, and Will says, cue conspiracy noise / music here, if January 6th was a red herring, yeah, there we go, and this was the true coup? Or could it be, since they couldn't take away one right on that day, i.e. election, that the far right is slowly stripping away the rights of those who have been traditionally seen as opposing them, for whatever reason? But beside the conspiracy theory, another aspect that is troubling are these things called trigger laws from various states. 13 states have laws that will automatically ban abortion upon the official ruling of the Supreme Court. Now, Nat, this is a little bit of a longer letter. I suggest that we double dragon this thing. You want to hop on the latter half?
Jumping in here. A few states already have these laws in place that would overturn gay marriage as well, Mississippi being one, and Texas laying the groundwork as well. Like I said, I'm afraid of the future for myself and my partner, but what is scarier is these trigger laws, which have a double meaning. One action causing another action, but also because they can literally kill human rights and even humans. I had never heard of them until recently, and I would love a deeper dive into them. Are they legal? I.e., how can you pass an anti-law law and have it in writing? That's a good question. What are some landmark laws that we did not know were trigger laws? What can the average schmo like me do to help get them overturned or invalidated?
These are good questions, Will. And clearly, to be transparent, clearly, Will, you do not subscribe to the political ideology of what would be called the right in the U.S. And the thing about this is that you don't have to subscribe to any consistent or defined political ideology to understand that trigger laws are an issue, and they will be an issue for quite some time. A trigger law is kind of, like if you're ever on a road trip, you call dibs, right? On a seat, it's like, shotgun. Trigger law is kind of calling dibs on something. You're preparing for another event to take place, at which point, kind of like Russia's dead hand system, you will have an automated process, or as automated as possible, to ensure that what you want to pass comes to pass. In the U.S. right now, specifically with the case of Roe v. Wade, there are 13 states that have these so-called trigger laws specifically pertaining to abortion and pertaining to making abortion illegal, to banning it. And the idea is that as soon as the ring wraiths of the Supreme Court say, haha, JK, abortion's illegal after all, then those 13 states will be able to immediately say, LMAO, LOL, for real though, it's illegal. And because importantly, not to get too into the legalistic weeds, but importantly, the way that the draft opinion is written, if it does come to pass, makes the matter of people's bodily autonomy a states' rights issue. So it would be up to the 50 states to go their own way. Hashtag no Fleetwood Mac. And the idea, I know, but the
Sorry.
you know what? I'm sorry to everyone, but the idea here is older than I think a lot of people may assume, because there used to be 14 states, or there would have been 14 states with trigger laws specifically about this issue. One of them being Illinois. Their law in this regard was enacted in 1975. And then fast forward several decades, it was repealed in 2017. So trigger laws themselves are a thing that can exist in any number of circumstances. It would not be surprising, for example, to see this tactic used in something like marijuana legalization, or excuse me, cannabis legalization. Then you could just say, okay, if the federal law, like we won't pass our own legalization policy, says, insert, what's a random state?
Arkansas.
Okay, Arkansas. Perfect. You are correct, sir. That is the correct random state we were looking for. So Arkansas maybe doesn't want to straight up say, "Hey, we're going to make marijuana legal within the state limits of Arkansas, but we're going to have it locked and loaded to be legal as soon as the federal government says it's up to you all. Do as thou wilt." So what I'm saying is trigger laws are an anticipatory thing. They're not inherently sinister, but in this case, they are definitely attempting to remove autonomy from people who can give birth.
Yeah. And in states like Arkansas, I just happen to have something open about the Arkansas trigger law that's on the books right now, actually. It is the situations where many of these trigger laws ban abortion or are prepared to ban abortion completely, no matter the circumstances whatsoever. Those are specifically the ones that worry me the most, because it removes all nuance from the possible situations that humans find themselves in. Sorry, that I don't want to soapbox. That feels so dangerous to me.
Yeah.
Where it is a yes or no situation. It is illegal no matter what.